Welcome, dear folks, to the 4th episode of the Mythbusters in GTA San Andreas. We must admit that the number of myths you send us is growing at a great pace. But without further ado, let's get to some of your suggestions regarding the myths that appeared in the previous episode. And right after that, we will go over new myths. So, suggestion number 1 comes from a user, SilverBlue2, who was curious about a myth in which we investigated whether CJ would fall off a motorcycle when hit by water coming from a fire truck. SilverBlue suggested that we should test it in a situation where CJ has very low driving skills. We were also very interested in this comment because, as we know, when CJ does not have very high driving skills, it is much easier to fall off two-wheelers during a collision. However, as you can see, nothing has changed in the attached picture, and CJ stays in the vehicle without any problems. The situation is very similar during tests with bikes such as the BMX, where CJ also does not mind being sprayed with water under high pressure. And now, let's take a closer look at the comment of the user called SuperSlav, who is interested in what'll happen to the unique license plate after we enter a pay-and-spray located in a different city than the city from which we took the car. In short, we're talking about a situation where, for example, we take Sweet's car from Los Santos and then drive to pay-and-spray located in San Fierro or Las Venturas. SuperSlav was curious whether the license plate would change the name of the city, but at the same time retain its unique inscription. That is, as in the case of Sweet's car, the inscription is Grove for Life. And here, it quickly turned out that Pay and Spray does not change the name of the city to the one in which it is located, unlike the garages located at CJ's safe houses. Moreover, even though the comment with this suggestion was extremely interesting in our opinion, unfortunately, we were not able to discover anything surprising here. In the meantime, we are finally going to check fresh myths, and this is the first one. Dead bodies cool down after a while, which can be seen on thermal goggles. Sometimes, thermal goggles can make some missions easier for us, which we surely know very well. In conditions of poor visibility, warmer objects of the surroundings, such as people, are simply more noticeable. However, have the developers implemented such cool detail into the game? Let's find out. And dear folks, we realized very quickly that the creator of the myth was right. On thermal goggles, shortly after killing any pedestrian, we quickly see how the color changes. Out of curiosity, we went a step further and decided to see if the thermal goggles would register an increase in temperature when we started the car engine. Therefore, we tested ourselves with the engine turned off and on, but in this case, we found nothing. The only thing is that we can see the rest of the smoke from the exhaust pipe having a higher temperature. Anyway, the entire myth turned out to be true, so we can confirm it. Making photos in the Four Dragons Casino or Caligula's Casino will anger the guards. In previous Mythbusters episodes, we looked at how some, in theory, harmless items affect police behavior. To be precise, we checked various items while entering a police station, looking at whether CJ would receive the wanted level or not. Some of the attempts turned out to be a bit strange because, in the end, it is quite suspicious that the police did not care too much about CJ running around the police station with a knife, but when we changed the knife to a camera, the police reacted immediately. So now, let's see if security at the Four Dragons Casino and Caligula's Casino will mind when we start using the camera there. As we have seen perfectly, not really. What's more, we can even run around the casino with weapons aiming at pedestrians inside. The security will react only when we aim the weapon at one of the security guys. Either way, we can bust this myth. You can burn everyone choking on tear gas in one go if you burn just one person, similar to the knife sneak attack. Well, we're sure that there are not many people who do not know the brilliant curiosity related to the knife and tear gas. However, if someone did not know it, the recipe for this trick is very simple. We throw tear gas at a group of people and then slit the throat of one of the people who is currently suffocating. Then all people in the gas explosion zone also receive throat cut animation and die. Let's see what happens if we also throw tear gas at a group of people, but this time, instead of slitting the throat, we set one person on fire. Although we strongly hoped that this myth would turn out to be a great curiosity, nothing interesting appeared during the tests. To make a long story short, after we used gas and set one of the suffocating people on fire, only the one we set on fire burns, and the fire itself does not transfer to other suffocating NPCs. If you drive around the same car long enough, it gets dirty. Of course, we know very well that cars can get dirty in GTA San Andreas. Very often, we only need to drive a clean car literally for a while on the dirt road, and in a matter of seconds, boom, the dust shows up. In that case, let's go to the test and see if the vehicle not used by us yet will also get dirty, but in a situation where we drive around it with another vehicle, with which we will simply make a lot of dust float around. Unfortunately, even after a long time, we were not able to notice even the smallest filth. Although we had done many tests, each one of them ended with the same negative result. In our opinion, we can bust this myth. But if you have any suggestions on how to test it in another way, feel free to let us know in the comments. Nitro does not increase the top speed of vehicles. Okay, it's true that the GTA franchise is not the Need for Speed series, so it may be as the author of the myth wrote. Let's do 3 tests on cars from different categories and see what will happen. Well, as we have seen perfectly well, regardless of what car we tested, we still did not manage to achieve a higher speed after switching on the nitro. But if you know a car that works differently with the nitro, we'll be grateful for helping us out on this matter. A car passenger who is driving with you, a GSF member for example, may fall out of the car when the door is ripped open and you are driving aggressively. This case seems highly suspicious to us, mainly since we have not heard of a situation like this even in some modern video games. However, who knows, maybe this myth is not completely pointless and we will be surprised in a moment. So, in the beginning, let's get rid of the door in the car by using our chainsaw. Now the car is ready, and we just need to recruit a member of the Grove Street families and take him and CJ into the vehicle. Our driving has been quite aggressive for a long time, but unfortunately, as you can see in the attached pictures, despite the lack of fastened seatbelts, our friend remains quite effectively in his seat. Let's do a bit more hardcore test now and jump off Mount Chiliad. Perhaps after a few flips, something interesting in connection with the myth will simply happen.
All that crazy shit. CJ, you ain't no pilot. Oh man.
Well, as you can see, nothing at all. And on this myth, we'll end today's episode. We strongly recommend you watch the video that is currently displayed on the screen because the story related to the Green Saber is really interesting due to its multi-threading. Thanks for being with us, take care, and see you soon.